Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today is December 26th, a day after Christmas. So happy late holiday to everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful time with your family. And happy early new year. So as you all know, the season is basically over outside, and I have a lot of questions asking what I'm doing now that I can't grow stuff outdoor. So today I'm gonna go around and give you a few random updates to show you what I'm doing inside to continue with my growing hobby. We'll start with my aero garden setup here, and I actually have a few things going on, and I will be keeping this plant until the new season comes, and then I will put it outside. So first we'll look at what I have here. And sorry about the lines that you see there. That's just some kind of effect that the LED from my aero garden caused the camera to put out. So anyway, what I have here are a few plants that I'm propagating. These are herbs, Cuban oregano. I didn't want it to die completely outside, so I cut a few branches and brought them inside to propagate, and I'm going to keep this until the spring comes, and then I'll put them outside. Okay, so here is the Cuban oregano. I love these things. It smells so great, so I didn't want it to die completely, so I cut it off, and then I'm propagating it right now. I may transplant this into a small soil container just to keep it alive until spring comes, and I can put this outside because these are warm plants. They love summer, so in the winter time they'll just freeze and die. So that if you want to keep one, just propagate it and then take it outside later. Okay, and another one I have that's propagating right now is some Christmas cactus and some variegated jade. I have a video coming up, so I will show you guys that later on. And then I have some pepper plants that I cut off to propagate again so that I can keep some for the coming season because I don't want it to die completely. So look at that. See the root system there? So basically you just cut a branch, put it in water, and then a few weeks later you just get roots. It's that simple, and I have videos made on this method, so if you want to check it out you can browse my channel, or I will link you. Look at all this root right here. So I will eventually put this into another container so that it can grow, and then try to overwinter it until the coming season, and then I'll put it outside. And this is my scarlet rose. Alright, here I have some more branches that I cut off of my lemon starburst. And again, the same exact thing I'm doing. You see there was the roots right there coming out. So I will have more plants of these in the coming season. So guys, try it. If you don't want to lose your plant and you don't have space to bring them inside, just cut a few branches and then take them inside, and that's how you propagate them. I have a few in here that's already rooted as well. So these are also the lemon starburst. These are just branches like that. So that's how easy it is to propagate. Alright, and then here I have my tomatoes. Check out this cool looking tomato plant, and it's basically grown inside a small water bottle container. And the koozie here is basically giving the plant support so that it can stand up, because sometimes it can grow and then it's top heavy, so the water bottle cannot hold it. So look at this, let me show you. Look at all the roots there, and it's going to have fruits very soon. So here's some flowers here, and as soon as this one drop, this will turn into a fruit. So that's my tomato plants. Let's put this aside. Alright, here is my other tomato plant, and this guy is doing awesome. Look at this. I have very nice fruits right there. This is so cool. When people come over, they look at this plant, they thought it was fake because Look how small this tomato plant is. This is a Gatorade bottle, so it's not very big, and it kind of like the fruits are so heavy that is making the plant hang over. So here are more fruits there, and then eventually I will have more fruits here. So that's my tomato plant, just grown completely, cracky method. All right, next here I have a culantro herb. I did a video on this already, so if you have not seen it, I will link you, or you can browse my channel. And look at that, these are root system, and it's just a coffee container. And then this guy here is my hydroponic plant. This is the Hornet F3, grown in my aero garden there. And what I did to this guy was I chopped it off completely, and then I grafted on other varieties onto it. So I have 1 here, 2 here, 3, and then the 4th one didn't work. I think that one's dead. And then the 5th one here looks okay, but there's no leaves for those. But look at that, this is the one plant with different varieties grafted onto it. So it's successful now, and the leaves are getting larger, and there are fruits coming out too. So that's this is a grafted plant. So I'm gonna have a few different type of fruits onto this single plant. But I'm not gonna leave this here anymore, because as you can see, the lights is at its capacity. You can't go up any higher, and then a lot of the branches are sticking out, so they're not getting lights. And in order for the plants to grow well and produce nicely, you need to provide adequate light. So I'm gonna have to transfer this into maybe soil, that way I can put it into my tent. But right now it's just sitting here in my aero garden. Let me see if I can show you the root system. See there? This unit is basically used for growing herbs, but I do a lot of propagation and make the plant grow fast, and then once it gets to a certain size, then I move it outside. That's usually what I use this unit for. But herbs will do really well in here. Okay, here's my other aero garden unit that I replaced the bulbs with some LED, because these aero garden CFL are junk, so those don't work very well. And so I have some plants started here. These are going to be small hydroponic plants. These are the super pekin that I created. It's a pekin plant that's going to be really hot, but very tasty. A little bit larger than the normal pekin, but this is my hydro setup as well. So it's just a water bottle hydro setup. Alright guys, here is my tent, and let me show you what's going on in here. And you may be wondering why I left some of this part open here, and that's because I need to overwinter a few plants, and they need to get some kind of lights to stay alive. So that's the reason why it's open. It's just a temporary solution for now, but here they are. Okay, and here is one of the plant. It is my jade and Christmas cactus. I love these plants, and I don't want it to die. So they can't survive in the cold, so I have to bring them inside. And look at these beautiful flowers. The Christmas cactus are like some of the coolest, prettiest plants that you can grow this time of the year, because it blooms during Christmas or around that time. So it's very cool and unique, and the flowers are beautiful. But because they are tropical plants, so they can't live in the cold, you need to bring them inside. As long as the weather is not freezing, they will still be alive, but you can allow it to drop down to like 40 degrees, 50 degrees, and they'll be fine. But under 30s or freezing, they're not okay. So that's why I brought them inside, and the temporary light is giving this guy just enough to stay alive for the winter. And let me show you 2 more plants. Okay, here it is, the other plants that I brought inside. I don't need these guys to grow. I just need them to stay alive until the weather's warmer, where I can take them outside again. And this plant also has 3 grafts onto it. So there's one here, got another one right there, and then I grafted another one there. So that is another cool plant that I can't wait to grow next season. And here is my hornet. It's alive. I have 2 grafts on that guy also, so it's gonna stay here. What you want to do is give it a little light and little water, because without light they can't use a lot of the energy to take up water and all that stuff, so you don't have to water too much. And they will be alive, they won't die, they just won't grow. But that's exactly what I want. All right, let's go inside the tent and I'll show you what's going on here. All right guys, here is the tent, and before we go into showing the plants, I know that many people want to see the setup first, so let's go ahead and go through and I'll show you what I have in the tent, and then we'll go through the plant, because that's what most people are interested in. So if you have not seen my tent tour before, this is a tent by Miller, right there, that's the brand. And I bought this off of Amazon. It is a 2 feet deep and 4 feet across and then 5 feet high. So 4 by 2 by 5, that's what it is. And then inside my tent I have this light set up here, and also this mini one. I thought I was gonna use this for some of the younger plants, but this, I switched out the CMH 150 for the 315, and it's way plenty, so I didn't need to use that. But this unit here is 100 watt lights CMH also, and it is excellent for one plant. Like if you want just like this guy here, this guy is enough. Or if you have a few seedlings that you want to sort of like grow indoor, that unit is enough there. So that is the 100 watt, just a regular bulb. Okay, and this is the CMH 315 by Endomax. So let me show you some details here. You can pause the video and see, but you can also go to the website and check it out. This is the 315. I used the 150 before, but it wasn't strong enough, so I removed it to put the 315 in, and now it covered the entire tent. So that's what I'm using. All right, so let's go in and show you my pepper plants. This is the Starr Hornet, the F3 that I grew completely in hydro. And this box here is a 17 gallon, but all you need is 15 gallons, so that's what I used. Look at that. See, when you grow at DWC, that's the root system you get. It's massive. So basically it took the entire bucket, and my water level is a little bit lower than half, so it used pretty much a good amount of water. But still, I mean, for 15 gallons, and this is how large the plant has gotten, and I haven't done anything else to it. It's just been sitting there. I haven't changed water, I haven't checked pH, I haven't done anything like that. So I don't recommend doing that. I just don't have time to do it, and I've been lazy. So when you do that, what's gonna happen is a lot of your blooms are gonna drop, but I really don't care, because this plant here is not producing the desired fruits that I want. So here, I see that fruit right there. I got a pretty good amount of fruits here, fruits there. So they're pretty good amount of fruits, but they're not looking any different than what I have already. So I really don't care about this too much. So I may just cut it all down and then remove this, trim back the roots, and put it into the soil bucket. That way I can make more room for my other plant, the graft one that was inside. I plan on moving it out here so that it can stay alive until when the weather gets warmer and I take these guys outside. And as you can see, this thing here is taking up my whole entire space almost. So I have only half to work with. And there is the air pump. This is one of my favorite air pump. I've been using it for years and it hasn't stopped working yet. but I hope it continued to work. So and then on this side there's another bucket, but that's just basically like a stand for these other plants that I have. So let me show you what I have here. You're probably wondering why I have these in bags, and the reason for that is because I brought all of these plants from outside, and to prevent pests from getting out and fungus gnats flying everywhere infecting this plant, I left it inside its own greenhouse. And the advantage of this is that it will stop the pests from coming out, and also it actually acts as a greenhouse, and so you don't have to water very often. So every time you water, it'd be like a week or two before you have to water again, because the heat would cause the water to rise, and then all these condensation are caused here, and it'll fall right back down, and then the plant just keep recycling it. So if you travel often and you don't have time to water your plant, and the plants are small enough, use this method. That way you can keep it alive when you're away. And fungus gnats sometimes fly out of the soil that you brought in from outside, and this here would keep it inside, and then it'll fly to the top and you can squish it. So then that's how you keep your tent from being infested with those really crazy bugs. I mean, they're just really annoying. Okay, and I have more here. This plant here I topped just to keep it small enough to keep it in here. It's grown really well, and I haven't watered too often. I think I water this probably twice, and then it stays moist in there, and it's still alive. And this is my other plant. This is actually a tree. It's a Djibouti Kaba. It's one of those Brazilian grape. A very, very nice tree. So I didn't want that one to die because I really love that plant. I wanted to see how long I can keep it alive, or even if I can grow those. Okay, and then here is my lemon starburst. I dug it out from outside in the huge pot, and then cut some of the roots off, trim it back, and then I left it in this small bucket there for overwintering. That's how I usually do it. I don't have a lot of space, so if I want to overwinter, I trim the plants back, I cut the root ball smaller, and I put it in a tiny bucket without any holes, because I don't want water running everywhere in my tent. So I have a video on that, so if you want to see it, I will link you. Overwintering is very easy. And then I did another one there. I actually tried to graft something on here, but then I accidentally knocked it over and killed it. So the graft was successful. See, it healed up nicely, but then I broke it. So that's basically it for that graft. So the top of that plant is right here. So when I cut it off, I decided like I'm gonna propagate it. So I just put it in water and left it there. So there you have it, guys. That is what I'm doing this winter time. Since I can't grow outside, I still can enjoy some of the growing experience inside. So I hope you guys are doing some of this as well, because it's really fun, and there's a lot of things you can do, like experimenting and all that stuff. So alright guys, that's it. Happy New Year, and thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.